We online now? Okay. So we are about to begin chapter 10 of Srimad Bhagavad-gita. So we are continuing the section on Bhakti Yoga. And this is a very special chapter because it has the Chatur Shloki.
Yeah. What means Vibhuti?
Vibhuti means, well, here it's translated as glories, I think. Divine glories. Means like some, like special potencies or special powers, glories.
Mercy, something.
Mercy?
No?
I don't think it's even like that, yeah. Like some special, something glorious, something power, something potent, like that. So that's, yeah.
So how would you refer that then to yoga? Like the yoga with the glory?
I don't think we're meant to understand it in that way. I think here yoga is more in the sense of like a division or something like that. It's not in the normal sense of yoga. Yoga, that word is used in different ways. I mean, we can check that, but no, it's not that it's like a type of yoga, not like that. No. The word is being used differently here. Okay, so Vibhuti Yoga, the divine glories of the Lord. So we can begin with hearing Srila Gurudev chanting the first verse.
Devidasi yoga, Sri Bhagavan Vishakha, Bhuyo eva Mahavaho Sriyukta Paramagavata, Jatte ang priyo manaya, Mokhyani hita kamaya.
Okay, so we'll chant together. Bhuya eva mahabaho shinu me paramam vacha yate ham priyamanaya vakshami hita kamyaya. Oh, I forgot Shri Bhagavan Vacha. So the translation. Want to start, Didi?
The Supreme Lord said.
Will you say loudly for the microphone?
The Supreme Lord said, O heroic Arjuna, listen to my supreme word once again. Desiring your welfare, I shall speak to you, who are very dear to me. So, this Paramamvacha, this is mentioned a few times when Krishna is giving explanation of Bhakti. This is maybe the second or third occasion where he uses this expression. This I'm telling of many different subject matters, I'm outlining many different paths, but this is my supreme lesson, this is my supreme teaching. And Shrinu, listen carefully here. Listen up. And again, this is repeated, it's so beautiful, it's repeatedly this expression, you are dear to me, so in different ways. The Kriya Manaya, Hita Kamyaya, desiring your welfare. I'm telling you this because you are dear to me, because I love you. And I'm not telling you this so I can, increase my following. But hita kamyaya, because I love you and because it's good for you, right? Not because it's good for me. What will I actually gain? So, man manabhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskru mame vaisyasi satyam te prati jane priyosi me. So here again, so that verse, as Param Gumar says here, Krishna, he's shamelessly, canvassing on his own behalf. Think of me, love me, worship me, be my devotee. How can anybody talk like this? And Gurudev, he's also pointed out, this is like also some kind of proof of Krishna is the Supreme Lord, because where else do you find, that in any other tradition, any other description of the Lord, that
he will speak like that, like, I am the Lord, everybody worship me, everybody follow me, everybody be my devotee, everybody serve me. And only Krishna, he can talk like this. Mm-hmm. But again there, priyosime, because you are priya, because you are dear to me, I am telling you this, because it's good for you, not that it is for myself. So, here Krishna is speaking his Paramamvacha, his supreme word, supreme teaching of Bhakti. Okay, we can go to verse number 2. Okay, sorry. He's annoying. I really don't like this browser, but it's default all my PDFs open and it's really annoying.
Nami vidusragara prabhavam namaharthaya ahvadihi devarang maharshinam cha sarvata.
Name vidu suragana prabhavam namaharshaya aham adirhi devanam maharshinam cha sarvasha.
Neither the demigods nor the great sages can understand my transcendental appearance in this world, as I alone am the origin of those celestial beings and sages.
So this is like kind of putting things in perspective, all of these great persons. And this is like revolutionary actually, because these persons are so celebrated and given such high position in the normal Vedic presentation, but Krishna's kind of like smashing all of that here, like these guys they're nobody, actually. They're shown as so high and so great and relative to the members of this world, and at a certain stage it will be good for persons to of course they should be revered anyway, but to give some focused attention at a certain stage, that will be helpful. But for someone who's reached a higher level of understanding, they will see with some greater perspective their position is, like in Prabodhananda Saraswati's, one of his verses glorifying Mahaprabhu. What is that line? He's saying they're like insects. Brahma, Indra, the Devas, they appear like insects. How does the verse go? Kaivalyam narakayate tridasa purkasha pushpayate dordan tendriya kala sarpa patali prodkata damstrayate vishram purna sukayate vidi mahindradis kitayate. There, that's Lord Brahma, Indra, the Devas, they are like insignificant insects. That is how they appear for Yat Karunya Kataksha Vaibhavam, that one who has received the mercy of Gora, of Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu, they appear like insects. This is the shift in perspective that will develop. And this line is also often quoted because it's here Krishna is saying, Aham Adir Hi Devanam. The Devas, I am the source of the Devas. I am, Ishvara, Parama Krishna. I am the Supreme Lord. I am the origin of all. Aham Adir Hi Devanam. I am the source of the Devas. So the Devas, they cannot be considered to be equal to or superior to Krishna. He is their very source. So this is it's right here in Bhagavad-gita. It's like clear as a bell, Everybody likes Bhagavad-gita. Everyone reads Bhagavad-gita, but not many can really understand or accept, what Krishna's actually saying, or somehow they wrangle their own interpretation. But it's very clear what he's saying here.
Yomam ajamanadincha vibhakti loka mahesharam asangmura samartyeshu sarva papai pramuchyate.
Yo mamma jammanadim cha veti loka maheshwaram asamuda samarjeshu sarva papad pramuchyate. Verse number 3.
One who knows me, the son of Devaki, as the birthless, beginningless, supreme lord of all beings, is undiluted among men and completely liberated from sin.
Okay, so there's a serious contradiction in this verse. What is it? Okay, I'm going to make it obvious.
The son of Devaki is
So what's the contradiction?
Oh, he's taking birth from Devaki and what's it?
Yes, exactly. So he's saying, I am birthless, but he's also saying I'm the son of Devaki. So how do we harmonize this? Well, we can answer that with another verse in the Bhagavad-gita, chapter 4, beginning of chapter 4. Anyone remember? Maybe Radharani knows. You know that verse?
Janma karma.
Yes! Woo! Very good, very good. And the prize goes to Radharani Devidasi. Yes, exactly. So tell us what the verse says. Can you say the whole verse?
I know the meaning in Spanish, but I try to.
You can say in Spanish. We have translators.
So that person who understands.
Say more loudly.
That person who understands the nature of my birth and pastimes, is never take birth again in this material world.
Yes, yes. Very good. Yes. Excellent.
Is it pastimes or disappearance? My appearance and disappearance?
This,
He says Janma, Karma, Chane Divyam. The one who could understand the divine nature of my Janma and my Karma, my birth and my activities. That's what I'm trying to say. Janma, Karma, Chane Divyam, Evam Yogeti, Tattvata. Veti, who can know, Tattvata means the truth of, the substance.
Thank you.
Evam Yogeti Tattvata. That this word Tattvata means like the essence, the true nature of the substance. Jatva deham punarjanma navidyate. I missed out the order to that. Once they give up this body, punarjanma, another birth, navidyate, they will not know. They will become liberated. They can understand that, as you said, this is lila. This is a play. This is a cover. It's not something taking place by necessity, but this is divine play. So this is actually, this verse is like a parallel to Janma Karma Chamedivyam, this other verse, saying the same thing. Okay, so now we'll go to verse number 4.
Buddhijnanam asammoha kamasattam damasamaha sukham dukkham bhavo bhavo bhayancha bhayamevacha.
Buddhiryanam sammoha sama satyam namashamaha sukham dukkam bhavo bhavo bhayam cha bhayam evacha. So verse number 4, number 5, and read together.
Ahimsa samata tushti sapudhanam yasho yasha bhavanti bhava bhutanam matta eva prithavidha.
Ahimsa samata tushti sapudhanam yasho yasha bhavanti bhava bhutanam matta eva prithavidha. Intelligence, knowledge, freedom from delusion,
forbearance, truthfulness, mental control, sense control, happiness, unhappiness, birth, death, fear, courage, non-violence, equanimity, satisfaction, austerity, charity, fame, and infamy. All these various attributes of the living beings are born of me alone. Okay. Oh wait. Yeah, we're on 6.
Mahasaya Saptapurve Chattaro Manavastata Manabhava Manasayata Yesang Lokha Imam Praja
Mahashaya Sapta Purve Chattara Manavastata Madhava Manasayata Yesham Yoga Imam Praja. The 7 great sages headed by Marichi, and preceding them the 4 Brahmana sages headed by Shanaka, and also the 14 Manus or progenitors headed by Swayambhuva, all are empowered by me and are born of Lord Brahma, who is a manifestation of my mind. Mankind and all progeny descends from this patriarch.
So here Krishna, he's not holding anything back. He's very clearly, announcing what is his supreme position. Like loudly and boldly declaring.
Etang Yutim Yogancha Mamam Yogetti Taptata Suvikalpena Yogena Jimchati Natha Samsaya Nita
Etam Virutim Yogancha Mama Yogetti Tattva Sovikalpena Yogena Yudhyate Natra Samsaya.
One who does know in truth my supremacy and devotional service serves me in unwavering realization. Of this there is no doubt.
So this is very important point. Why am I telling you all of this? Not just to show off, but so that you can understand, I am the source, I am the origin of everything. My position is supreme. And what should your, natural response be to that? To offer your energy to me, and not just in a dry way or in a beautiful way or in an obligatory way, but with love, with affection, with heart. This is the real conclusion. One who has gone through the previous paths outlined in Gita. This will be their natural conclusion. That there is a supreme source, there is a supreme origin, a supreme personal source, and knowing that, what will my natural response be? Not just to sit in some abstract meditation or to sit and analyze that and discuss that, but rather to render my service, to offer my heart to that source. So now Krishna's continuing with this theme and this verses. So this is beginning, this 8, 9, 10, and 11, they are in the chapter Shloki. So they are, these are on the list of verses to learn. If somebody wants to learn some Gita verses, these 4 should definitely be near the top of the list. Very, this is the essence of Bhagavad-gita. This is the real message of Bhagavad-gita. Okay, so we can hear.
Majjitta
Oh,
Madhvaka Prana.
sorry, I skipped ahead.
Bodhayat Yogena Jivjati Natra Samsaya Aham Sarvasya Prabhavu Matta Sarvam Pravartate Iti Matta Bhajante Manu Buddha Bhava Samannita.
Aham sarvasya prabho matta sarvam pravartate iti mata bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvita.
I am Krishna, the sweet absolute, the origin of all, the entire universe of material and transcendental play, activity, purpose, and the Vedas and allied scriptures which give guidance, all evolve from me alone. Realizing this hidden treasure, persons of fine theistic intelligence surpass the mundane and embrace the path of love divine, Raga Marga, and adore me forever.
So this is very, very beautiful, and no doubt this is coming from Param Maharaj's elaboration on this verse. And we can also just look at the direct Sanskrit here. Aham sarvasva prabhavo. I am the cause of all. Matav sarvam pravartate. Everything comes from me. Iti matva bhajante mam. That having realized this, Buddha, those who are wise, those who are intelligent, they will bhajante, they will worship me. Bhava samanditaha, in a mood of love. And so this is like an expanded and very beautiful translation of that. I am Krishna, the sweet absolute, the origin of all, the entire universe of material and transcendental play, activity, purpose, and the Vedas and allied scriptures which give guidance, all evolve from me alone. So, like this aham sarvasva prabhavo, I am the origin, I am the cause of everything, including all of these different paths which are guiding persons to me. I am the source of that also. And then in his, which we'll read also, Param Maharaj's commentary, he explains that this is also referring to Radha Dasyam here. We'll come to that. Realizing this hidden treasure, persons of fine theistic intelligence surpass the mundane and embrace the path of love divine, Raga Marg. This word Bhav, that is indicating the path of Raga Marg, love, beyond Vidhi Marg, regulative worship, the worship in the heart. Okay, so we can read this commentary. This is taken from some talks of Param Maharaj. And Gurudev, he actually commented that our English Gita is more than our Bengali Gita, because this explanation here, it's not in our Bengali. This is collected by Sagar Maharaj from some of Srila Sridhar Maharaj's talks, where he gave this explanation, and they've been included here, but they're not in our Bengali. So Gurudev mentioned that our English, it is more actually. Okay. Verses 8 to 11 are the four principal verses of Srimad Bhagavad-gita. The ontological substance of the book is contained within these four essential verses, beginning, Aham sarvasva prabhavo, everything evolves from me. In Srimad Bhagavatam,
the three main conceptions of the Absolute are given as Brahman, Paramatman, and Bhagavan. Brahman is the all-comprehensive aspect of the Absolute. Paramatman is the all-permeating aspect of the Absolute. And Bhagavan is the personal conception of the Absolute. The word Bhagavan is generally defined as stated in the Vishnu Purana. Aishvaryasya samagrasya viryasya yashasa shriya jnana vairagya yoschaiva shanam bhaga itingana. He who is full with all the six opulences of wealth, power, fame, beauty, knowledge, and renunciation is known as Bhagavan, the Supreme Lord. This word Bhagavan, it literally means who is the possessor of Bhaga, which means like opulence, type of potency. So Van, the holder, so who is the holder of these six, Bhagas, that is Bhagavan. The characteristic of Bhagavan as Lord Narayan is that all kinds of potencies are personally controlled by him. However, Srila Jiva Goswami has given a special and particularly fine interpretation. Bhagavan means Bhajaniya Guna Vishishta. His nature is such that whoever comes into contact with him cannot resist serving him. No one can resist feeling moved to worship and adore his charming personality. And this I find to be one point of Krishna consciousness which cannot really be defeated by any other conception. It's like a very, prominent concept which is self-evidently supreme, that a conception of Godhead, where the Godhead is described as being, irresistibly beautiful and charming to the extent that persons are irresistibly drawn to worship and love him without even any consciousness of his supremacy. It is, his supreme position is something, it's a self-evident truth. Simply by experiencing, by coming in touch with his beauty, with his charm, one's only response will be to irresistibly offer themselves in service and love. Not that it is through, power in the ordinary sense that the Supreme Lord is controlling and dominating, but through the heart, the deepest part of oneself. He's controlling that part, and it's something automatic, something irresistible and spontaneous. No one can resist feeling moved to worship and adore his charming personality. As Lord Krishna, he attracts the love of everyone. Therefore, by the word Sarvasva, Lord Krishna indicates, I am Swayam Bhagavan, the Supreme Lord himself. I am the origin of not only Brahman and Paramatman, I am also the origin of the master of all potencies who commands the respect of everyone, Lord Narayan of Vaikuntha. So I am the origin of Brahman and Paramatman, who may be considered supreme by other schools of thought. Krishna is saying here very clearly, I am the origin of that. And any other Bhagavan, I am also the origin of that, including Narayan, who has such a respectable position. Mata sarvam pravartate. Every attempt and movement begins from me, including the methods by which everyone worships and serves me in devotion. Nayam atma pravachanena labhyo namedaya nabahuna shutena yame vaisha vinute tena labhyas tasyaisha atma vivinute tanum swam. Are you familiar with this verse, Adhan? Good. Yeah, this verse is very important. Gurudev, he quotes it many times. The Lord cannot be known by logic, intelligence, or extensive study of the scriptures, but he reveals himself to one who is eager to serve him and praise to him for his grace. So this is a very fundamental point that's being made here. We cannot approach the Lord through our ordinary mental or physical, faculties. That is not possible. We can only know him if he chooses to make himself known to us. So then this is where Sharanagati comes in, the central importance of Sharanagati, of surrender, comes into play. That is our only hope, by finding how we can attract him to manifest, to descend to us. We cannot approach through our own faculties. So the first step must be some spirit of submission, and that I exist for him, not that he exists for me. That has to be like the very foundation of our approach. So this same idea is expressed in that famous exchange that Srila Sridhar Maharaj had in that public event when he was challenged, how can you say you know something about the infinite? And Srila Sridhar Maharaj said, yeah, you're right, we are finite, we cannot know the infinite, but the infinite can make himself known to us, if he so chooses. So this same point is being made here. We ourselves, with our finite, empiric abilities, can in no way, shape, or form approach him, but he can choose to approach us if he so wishes. So we have to make ourselves in such a way so as to attract that grace of his. In this way, Mata Sarvam Pravartate, I am the first to reveal to the people, worship me in this way. I appear as Guru, and through him I worship myself. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, the Guru is described by the Lord as his own direct manifestation. Acharyam mam okay, this verse everybody knows. Acharyam mam vijaniyam navamanyeta karhichit namartya budya suyeta sarva deva mayo guru. Sri Krishna said to his devotee Uddhava, you should know the bona fide spiritual master as my very self. Gurudev is the embodiment of all the gods. Never dishonor him or find fault in him by ascribing any mundane conception of place, time, and circumstance to him. So this, the main point here is Acharjamam Vijanyam. I myself appear as Guru. So Krishna is saying, I am the source of everything, including the means by which persons approach me, including Guru. Furthermore, the Lord's finest potency is Srimati Radharani. Of course, there are many other eternal associates, but the highest order of devotional service is represented in Srimati Radharani. The Lord is therefore saying, my worship is shown by me. I, as my finest potency, worship myself. Iti matva bhajante mam. Understanding this conception, the devotee will come to worship me, always under the direction of my best worshipper, my finest potency and representation, Radharani or Gurudev. Crossing her the highest and most desirable form of service to me is not possible. Radhadasyam, the servitorship of Srimati Radharani, is indicated here. Only those who are blessed with the divine intelligence will be able to appreciate this. And not persons with self-acquired intelligence from this Mayic quarter, the world of misconception. In this verse, the word Buddha refers to Sumedasa, as described in the Srimad Bhagavatam, or persons of fine theistic intelligence arising from direct connection with the transcendental plane. Okay, Radharani, here's the test. Do you know which verse this is referring to?
No.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't know.
It's a verse it's a very famous verse which is describing Mahaprabhu as the Kali Yuga avatar. It begins Krishna. Krishna Varnam. Oh, you don't know that verse? Okay. Krishna Varnam, Vishakha Krishnam, Sango Pangastra. If you see the verse, you'll remember. Sachi, you know this verse, right? No. Krishna Varnam, Vishakha Krishnam, Sango Pangastra Parshadam, Yagnaya Sankirtana Prayer, Yajantihi Sumedasa. This verse Srila Sridhar Maharaj describes in many places, at the beginning of Golden Volcano, and you know this verse, but it's one of the main evidential verses describing Mahaprabhu as the avatar, as the Yuga avatar for this age, describing him, Krishna Varnam, that he's always describing Krishna, or that he's blackish. Krishna also means black. Krishna, but he's not black because he's covered by Radharani's golden luster. Sango Pangastra Parshadam, he is accompanied by his associates, his companions, his weapons. But weapons in Kali Yuga, he doesn't have ordinary weapons. His weapons are explained to be the holy name and his beauty. Sango Pangastra, and then Yagnai, Sankirtana prayer. No, I got lost now. Krishna Varnam, Vishakha Krishnam, Sango Pangastra Parshadam, Yagnai, Sankirtana prayer, Yajantihi Sumedasa. That those who are Sumeda, Meda is referring to the intelligence. Sumeda. Su is like an intensifier. Very as it's put here, fine theistic, and not just ordinary intelligence, but theistic intelligence, some spiritual, godly, some special blessed intelligence. They will worship him through Sankirtan, through the Yagnai Sankirtana, through the Sankirtan Yagya, through the sacrifice of Sankirtan. So he is coming with this movement of Sankirtan, and the fortunate, the blessed, the intelligent souls, they will take up this movement and they will worship him also with Sankirtan. So this word is being highlighted here. So this Buddha, Meda, both means like the intelligence. And so Srila Sridhar Maharaj is saying that this Buddha mentioned in this verse, this Bhagavad-gita verse, it means that kind of intelligence, spiritual intelligence, arising from Sukriti, direct connection with the transcendental plane, through Agyata Sukriti. The inner guidance and direction they receive is the outcome of Sukriti. Divine merit acquired by the association of pure devotees. Bhava samanvitaha means raga samanvitaha, anurag, love and attraction which is affinity, not by strictly following scriptural rules or drawn from any plane of loss and gain, but from bhav, inner divine inspiration. So this is the specialty of Vrindavan, of Krishna Leela. Raga Marg, the path of love. Free flow of the heart, natural attraction, not restricted by rules, regulations, scripture, but automatic flow of the heart. Devotion of this high type is completely non-calculative, jnana shunya bhakti, as described by Srila Rupa Goswami in his Sri Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Anya bilashita shunyam jnana karma janavritam anukulyena krishnanushilanam bhaktir uttama. Okay, this verse you know. Okay. This is a very important verse. It's one of the main verses which and again described, quoted in many places, one of the main verses which is a definition of pure devotion. What is pure devotion? That which is free from anyabilash. Anyabilash means random, whimsical desires for enjoyment that we all have. And so shunyam, free from that. So, because normally bhakti, devotion, is mixed with many other things. So what are those things that may be mixed with? Anyabilash, random, fleeting. This is the Western disease. And then jnana and karma, this is more of like Indian disease, Hindu disease. Mm-hmm. The calculative approach. Karma, these words, they all have different, especially jnana and karma, they'll have different connotations in different contexts. But here, this is the connotation, this is this particular system. So here, karma means good activity, pious activity that is deliberately performed, religious, bhakti activity, which is deliberately performed for one's own self, for one's own betterment, and the betterment of others, for one's own upliftment. So, pious activity, here karma means that. Like, in one place, Srila Maharaj says, like, putting something in a bank account for the future. Doing some good activity that will ensure some result in the future, going to heaven, or whatever it may be. And then jnana here is indicating the desire for moksha, for liberation. And anavritam. So this is a very nice word. And avritam means cover. So free from these are just covers. This is a significant point here. These things are all just covers. The pure thing is within. The inherent thing, it's there, and it's pure. It's beautiful. And these things are just coverings. They don't have any substantial place. So you remove the covers, and what you have left, you have bhakti. And so free from this negative stuff, and then anukulyena. Anukulyena means favorable, which is, normally, anukul means favorable, and that's normally in the standard textbooks how it's translated. But that's a very vague, if you say favorable, it's not very clear, like, okay, favorable for who and for what, I like it, so it's favorable. But so here, this is a nice translation because it's making the real point here. Favorable in that it pleases Krishna. Favorable to Krishna, not to you or to anyone else, but specifically pleasing to Krishna. So free from any type of selfish pursuit, and actually pleasing on the positive side, satisfying to Krishna. Bhaktir Uttama. This is Uttama Bhakti. This is Shuddha Bhakti. This is Ananya Bhakti. This is the highest type of Bhakti. So this is a good verse to at least be familiar with if you don't learn it. It is one of the main definitions of pure devotion. Okay. Let's see. Just finish this purport. The most rare and elevated stage of devotion is in the line of spontaneous. So then here's Bhakti or Uttama, but then there's also some gradation there. When you come to pure devotion, there's also gradation there. One may tick all these boxes and it will classify as pure devotion, but there's still some gradation there. And so here, Param Maharaj is saying then the highest, within that category of pure devotion is Raga Marg, that Vrindavan love, Vrindavan mood. The most rare and elevated stage of devotion is in the line of spontaneous devotion, known as Raga Marg. In that line, guided by the qualified guru, an elevated pure devotee may attain service to a leader of one of the groups of Krishna's personal associates who serve the Lord in his pastimes in a relationship of friendship, Sakhya Ras, parenthood, Vatsalya Ras, or consorthood, Madhura Ras. In Vrindavan, the Lord is served in spontaneous devotion by his friends, headed by Suvalsaka, by his parental devotees, headed by Nanda Maharaj and Mother Jashoda. The gopis, headed by Lalita and Vishakha, serve him in consorthood. But amongst all his associates and amongst all the gopis, the highest order of divine loving service is rendered to the Lord by Srimati Radharani. Therefore, the acme of Raga Marg is the service of Radharani, Radhadasyam. This is the highest objective of the Rupanuga Gaudiya Sampradaya. That's who we are, the Rupanuga Gaudiya Sampradaya. Or we are, not us, but our gurus are the Rupanuga Gaudiya Sampradaya. Because Gaudiya is actually very general, I mean, within the worlds, Gaudiya is a very, marginal group, very, small group. But, from where we're sitting, what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think. But, in the general world context, a Gaudiya is something rare, right? But for us, from where we're sitting, Gaudiya is a very broad and loose term. There's lots of Gaudiyas, and they have all kinds of ideas. We're going from finer to finest to most refined conception here. So within the Gaudiya, subsection, then there's so many subsections, and so Gaudiya, it's vague for us. Gaudiya is vague. There are many different conceptions of Gaudiya. So
I thought Gaudiya is like followers of Mahaprabhu, right?
Yes.
So that is already not so. That is already a smaller, not so broad.
I'm saying yes. From a general perspective, that's what we'll say. But from where we are sitting, in consideration of the specific line of thought that our gurus have given us, then it's a very broad term, because there's many different Gaudiya conceptions, many different lines. There's Sahajiyas, there's many different Gaudiyas, there's the Gauranga Nagaris, there's what was his name? Ram something. He identified 13 different apasidantic sampradayas, who are all following Mahaprabhu. They're all Gaudiyas, but they have lots of different ideas, So for us, it may be the difference between night and day, what their conception is, So here, this, very specific term is being used, Rupanuga Gaudiya Sampradaya. And even then there's the Saraswata, right? And then there's Srila Sridhar Maharaj, it becomes more and more refined. It gets narrower and narrower. The followers of pure devotion is taught by Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada in the line of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Srila Gurudev, on the internal name of our Vrindavan temple, Shri Rupa Saraswati Sridhar, Seva Kunj. So then again, here's Rupa Nuga Gaudiya Sampradaya. But within that group, then there's the followers of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Then within that group, there are the followers of Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj and Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj. And there's some distinction there also. So we're following something very specific.
Very fortunate, very beautiful.
Yes. So distilled and refined. More and more and more. Jaggi Maharaj was working on something showing it. And we had the idea to make it like a triangle, like showing how we're all like on the same page here, and then slowly as you go to more and more refined, then there's less there, and then finally here you have Srila Sridhar Maharaj's line and conception. There's something distinct, at each level. Okay. Well, we can stop there. Any last comments and thoughts? Anything? I'm sorry we can't get on to these next verses today. Makchitta madgata prana oriyanta parasparam katayanta jamam nityam tushanti cha. And this was one of the verses which Srila Gurudev said when Srila Swami Maharaj and Srila Sridhar Maharaj were speaking for like 3 hours in Bengali, and then one of Srila Swami Maharaj's disciples asked him afterwards, "What were you talking about?" And Srila Swami Maharaj said, "If I were to tell you, you would faint. It's so high, you couldn't grasp it." And Gurudev said this was one of the things one of the verses they were discussing is, Srila Sridhar Maharaj, he's extracting Madhura Ras from this explanation, in his explanation of this verse. Tushanti cha, ramanti cha. Very beautiful verse, this verse. Makchitta madgata prana bodhayanta parasparam gatayantascha mam nityam tushanti cha ramanti cha. Always thinking of me, those surrendered souls converse about me, enlightening one another with the nectar of their devotional realizations, ever content and ecstatic in their divine natures. Okay, we can stop there for today. Jai Shri Bhagavad-gita ki Jai, Shri Bhagavad-gita Shri Dev Goswami Shri Jai, Jai Shri Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Shri Jai. Want to sing, Didi? Yeah.
Hare Nama Krishna Yadavaya Nama.
Hare Haraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha.
Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha.
Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha.
Gopal Govinda Ram Sri Madhusudana.
Giridhari Gopinatha Madana Mohana.
Shri Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Chanya.
Shri Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Chanya. Radha Shiva Sadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunatha. Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunatha. Echai Gosai Kori Charana Vandana Jaha Hoite Vignana Shabishta Purana Echai Gosai Jai Muita Dadasa Pancha Bada Pada Beno Mora Pancha Grasa Sajara Charana Sebi Bhakta Sane Basa Janame Janame Moe Abhilasha Echai Gosai Jabe Braje Kolo Basa Nishi Radha Krishna Nitya Lila Kodila Prakasha Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavana Shri Guru Vaishnava Padma Jayamana Shri Guru Vaishnava Padma Kodiyasha Hari Nam Sankirtan Kore Narottama Dasa
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
Jaya Sabharkar Sisi Guru Puran Bharata Giridhar Chuki.
Jai,
Jai Om Vishnu Bhatsila Bhakti Nirmala Jai Maharaj Ki.
Jai,
Jai Om Vishnu Bhatsila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki.
Jai,
Jai Om Vishnu Bhatsila Bhakti Rakshila Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki.
Jai,
Jai Om Vishnu Bhagavan Sila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Ki.
Jai,
Jai Om Vishnu Bhatsila Gaur Kishoras Babaji Maharaj Ki.
Jai,
Jai Om Vishnu Bhatsila Sachidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki.
Jai,
Jai Om Vishnu Bhat Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Sila Jagannath Babaji Maharaj Ki.
Jai,
Jai Sri Rupanup Guru Bhaga Ki.
Jai,
Jai Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Ajaya Vinda Ki.
Jai,
Jai Namacharya Sila Haridas Thakur Ki.
Jai,
Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vinda Ki.
Jai,
Jai Sabhashara Sima Mahaprabhu Ki. Jaya Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Govardhan Ki
Jai.
Jai Tulasi Maharani Ki
Jai.
Jai Ganga Yamuna Ji Ki
Jai.
Jai Chaitanya Charitamrita Jai Bhagavad-gita Ki
Jai.
Jai Sri Navadvitam Ki
Jai.
Jai Sri Mayapudam Ki
Jai.
Jai Sri Vrindavanam Ki Jai Sri Purushottamadam Ki
Jai.
Jai Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Mat Ki
Jai.
Jai Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Mat Veslanam Chapter Ki
Jai.
Jai Samudveda Kura Bhakta Vrinda Ki
Jai.
Jai Harinam Sankirtan Ki
Jai.
Jai Vishakha Devidasi Ki Jai Gaur Premanande.
Haribol. Okay, we have to turn off the camera. We lost our camera ladies.
Oh, you crack. Oh, Radharani, please next to the camera, please.